We have arrived at the final episode of Saving Swans. We will be playing the FA Cup final against Arsenal. Along with watching that game, we will be taking a trip down memory lane and seeing who the best 11 of Swansea City have been over the years. Where are they now before we retire? So kick back and relax. It's the final episode of Saving Swans. What's going on, guys? My name is Adam, I am a Super Swan, and welcome to episode 124 of the Saving Swans series, the final episode of Saving Swans as far as this current save goes. It's been a wild 124 episodes, and we're going to wrap it up with an FA Cup final against Arsenal. Our last chance of trophy, our last chance of silverware, I should say, before the end of the save. So we are going to jump straight into the game. We can reminisce once the game is finished. And this is the final lineup for the Saving Swans, the Swansea City team. Milagros in goal, Johnson, Cabrera, Pugh and Nart at the back. Zachary Paul, De Luca and Galvez in the middle. Altabama, Aradori and Giragori. There's been a few injuries, you can watch back through the episodes and see what the injuries are. To be fair, I haven't recorded this for about 2 weeks, so I'm a bit forgetful myself. But what we're going to do, we're going to crack on with the FA Cup final. If we win this, we'll be 4 FA Cups in the save in total, to go along with our 4 Premier Leagues, our unbeaten Centurion achievement, along with the others. Can we get the job done against the team that knocked us out of the Champions League? That's the question. But Altabama on the ball. Is he going to find Nart making the run there? He does find Nart. Nart tries to whip it in. Aradori. Oh, it's saved from the goalkeeper. And 5 minutes in, we do have the first shot of... Well, no, it says Arsenal have had a shot. But that's a Swansea shot. But Giragori... to Altabama, we're going to miss Giragori going into FM19. He will be a legend on the channel. But it tries to find Aradori, but it is tackled. Shelby Johnson does interfere. Building up from the midfield now, Altabama finds Shelby Johnson, whips it in. Aradori has the shot, but it's Orlando Giragori that puts the ball in the back of the net. And it is 1-0 to Swansea, 6 minutes in the FA Cup final. Starts the move off with Zachary Paul. He finds Altabama. He's going to find the run from Shelby Johnson. He whips it in. Aradori has the shot. It's saved from the goalkeeper. But Giragori is on hand to tap it into the back of the net. And who else would it be to score in the FA Cup final than Orlando Giragori? But it is a corner from Arsenal. The game isn't finished yet. And it does go over the bar. We've got a long way to go yet before this game is finished. Another 80 minutes to go. De Luca has picked up a knock. Just keeping an eye on his percentages. See if he can recover. We are seriously being overrun in midfield. I think I've seen that message about 1 million times in this game. But Ross Pugh gathers up from Milagros. He's going to start from the back, keeping the ball on the floor. But it's been a long time. I mean, I'm surprised I managed to get to 124 episodes, to be honest with you. This was the series I started YouTube off on. And I thought, I'll stick with Swansea, because, I do follow Swansea. I do live in Swansea. So I thought I'd start off with the local team. And 124 episodes later, here we are in an FA Cup final to win our 4th FA Cup. It's been a wild ride. And it's been a test of endurance. I mean, like I say, I didn't think I would even reach 124 episodes. I thought I'd give it up by about episode 20, episode 30. Thought I'd pack it in. But I've stuck to it. And it's been a wild ride. And all the people have watched, all the people have commented, liked. It's been a crazy ride. I mean, as of recorded, I think I'm on 87 subscribers. Which you might think isn't a lot. But for me... that's 87 more people that would be watching this than me on my own. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy whatever the numbers are. But we're going to sub off De Luca. He's looking a bit tired out there. I think he's picked up a knock. So we're going to bring on... who can play deep line playmakers? Zaquinha? We'll play Zaquinha. Why not? At this point, it doesn't really matter who plays where. But we'll get the second half underway. We are on top against Arsenal. We've had 4 shots on target. They haven't even had 1 shot on target yet. I was scared that they were going to get their shot. But we are looking comfortable. It is only 1-0 though. And anything can happen. We're going to shout out and encourage. And that does go over the bar. So yeah, I'm very appreciative of anyone who comes across the channel. Anybody who gets any sort of enjoyment out of this. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a while. Like I keep saying, it's been a wild ride. But Burke on the ball. Crosses it in for Holiday. And he does grab the goal. It's their first shot on target. And of course, they grab a goal. We're going to go on attacking. I don't want to end the series on a loss. I think we started the series from a hammering off Liverpool. But Burke crosses it for Holiday. And he does get it in the back of the net on their first shot on target. I'm going to shout to get creative. As far as subs go, we'll make a sub. Aradori's not having the best of games. We'll bring Yomar on for his cameo appearance. I want to confirm the subs. There we go. Cameo appearance from Yomar. And can we grab a goal before the full-time whistle? Come on, I'm going to demand more. Come on. It's the last game of Saving Swans. Come on. Show the world why we should win our 4th FA Cup. Or are Arsenal going to do us over again after knocking us out of the Champions League? And they are in the Champions League final, are Arsenal. Burke on the ball, whips it in for Holiday again. Oh, over the bar. Come on, boys. You can do it. It's all Arsenal now, though. But Ross Pugh heads it away. Can Shelby Johnson start off the counter-attack? No, he passes it back. It's a long kick by Milagres. It's back to Arsenal. Since we've scored, it's been all Arsenal. They've scored the goal. They've gone close a few times. It does look like Arsenal are going to win it more than anybody else. And Holiday again over the bar. We need to watch out. We need to watch out. But it does look like we are going to extra time. We wouldn't have it any other way. It was always, trusted to go to extra time on the last game of Saving Swans. Galvez on 6.9. We'll bring Gomez on for him. Do they play better the other way round? Yeah, they do. So we'll bring Mario Gomez on. Can we get the job done in extra time? Arsenal have been a bit of a bogey team this season. They've still only had 1 shot on target. And they've scored from it, which does not surprise me at all. But we're going to encourage the team. Are we going to penalties? Is it going to go that far in the last game of the series? I hope not. My nerves, I don't think would hold on if it went that far. But we are coming up to half-time and extra time. Nothing of note really happened. I'm staying on attacking. I can't shout anymore. I've already shouted too much. But come on, grab a goal. Make yourself a hero. Who's going to be the last goal scorer of Saving Swans? It could be any of you. But Burke on the ball. Don't tell me it's another Arsenal highlight. Ruiz beats his man. Long ball over the top to Holiday. He's 1-on-1. What a tackle, but it's not enough. And Holiday grabs the goal. And our bogey team of the season, Arsenal, do look like they're going to win the FA Cup over us. Which I'm a little bit disappointed on. I don't want to finish it on a loss. I thought we'd done well here. I thought that was a good slide, I think, by Ross Pugh. But it wasn't enough. And Arsenal, since we've scored, it's been all Arsenal. 3 shots on target for Arsenal. 2 goals. 4 clear-cut chances, mind, they've had. So it's not undeserved. But Altabama doesn't win the ball. Close him down. Come on, boys. I'm gonna go overload. Why not? It's the last game. Why not? But we win the ball back and give it away straight away. But Eagle to Holiday. See, it's been all Arsenal. It's been all Arsenal. Since we scored, it's been all them, but we win the ball back. Come on. We got 1 minute and a bit to score. We can do this. Long ball over the top. Girogori beats his man. It's the post. That's the rebound. Oh. Unlucky. It just wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. But it does look like, yeah, we're waiting for the countdown. There it is. Holiday gets the goals. It wasn't to be. We weren't going to win the FA Cup in the last episode. We've already won 3 FA Cups. We can let Arsenal have one. They've been our bogey team. We go the whole league season undefeated. But Arsenal are the only team that can somehow get a victory out of us. I'll say it was disappointing, but I'm retiring at the end of this. So Arsenal do win the FA Cup. Ross Pugh's out for 10 days. The rest of the reports aren't really necessary, to be honest with you. But we look at the schedule. Man City did beat us in the Community Shield. But look at that. We just remained unbeaten throughout. Arsenal beat us 3-1 away from home. So only Arsenal... if you discount Man City, because that was a pre-season game, Arsenal the only team to beat us this year, both in the Champions League and in the FA Cup. So whatever they've done, they've worked us right out. But we do go the league season undefeated, and we do fail to lift the FA Cup. So as a season review, we won the league, unbeaten Centurions. We won the Club World Championship. Arsenal knocked us out to the Champions League. We won the Super Cup, knocked out of the FA Cup by Arsenal, won the Carabao Cup, and knocked out the Community Shield by Man City. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the end of season, the end of season awards and best goal and things like that. And then I think it's time to reflect on the save. It's happened, my friends. You've noticed the red at the top. It's not white. We have retired from the game. The game's automatically done it for us. I haven't had a chance to do that. But we are going to go through the news articles. So, players inducted into the overall best 11. Marco Rog was the pick of the 2 players. Nart was the other player to become a part of Swansea's proud history. So this is the best 11 of the whole save. So we'll go through each of the players. We'll go through them individually, have a talk about them. Let me readjust myself here. See how we got on. See how they came into the club. So we'll start with Milagres. So Milagres was a goalie we got on the cheap. You know, we found him in Brazil. Our scouts are constantly scouting Argentina and Brazil because I'd be a fool not to. We got him in for £12.5 million. And at first, it was between him and Timo Horn. I wasn't sure who was the better goalkeeper. But we did opt for Milagres, and Timo Horn came in as the cup goalkeeper, which is what his role has been since he came into the club. Well, since Milagres came in. But he's never dipped below a 7 average rating. You know, he's been always solid at the back. We've never had many mistakes from him. I think one off the top of my head I can count on. But he was the goalkeeper, I think, that took us from a top 4 team to a Premier League winning team. I mean, you look at his attributes there. 1 eccentricity, which is good for not a super keeper, but like a standard goalkeeper. Absolutely insane attributes. By all means, pause it if you want to see it, because I'm going to be going through a lot of players here. But Milagres, 41 caps for Brazil, 26 years old. He could still be there in 10 years' time if he keeps up his fitness. Natural fitness 12? Maybe not. But what a goalkeeper. Milagres, thank you for your service. Shelby Johnson gets in ahead of Trent, ahead of Montoya, ahead of some others as well. Shelby Johnson was one we identified very early on in his career. He's now worth £60 million. And when we noticed him from Reading, we dumped £18 million on him. And that was, I don't think we'd won the league at that point. So it was a bit of a risk. We loaned him straight back to Reading. He was very raw. He wasn't the finished article. But we kept rotating him in the team. He wasn't first choice right back when he came to us. But then he started getting more appearances, more and more. And eventually he was on a rotation anyway. But he became a starter and he became an England right back. He plays for England now. But 60 mil, 190k a week. Technical stats, no, they're all right. Decent technique. but he's got really good physicals, really good mentals as well. But, he's another 23 years old. He could be there in 10 years' time. But he is judged to be the best right back we've had in this save. So thank you, Shelby Johnson, for your service. Now, this is a big name, Jamal Lascelles. So we got him in the second year of Saving Swans. He was the man I don't think he was there to replace Alfie Mawson, but I think he did come in to help bolster our defence, because Newcastle did get relegated that year. So we did get him in the cheap. We paid 16 mil for him, and he lasted a good, 7 seasons, really. He was pretty much, for the first half of the series, Jamal Lascelles was our starting centre-back. He was an English player as well, so he got the European contingent up, so he qualified for the Europa and the Champions League squads. So he was an asset for us there as well. But he did really well for us. Again, never dipped below 7.0 average rating. His best season was the 23-24 season. Only played 13 games, but 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 player of the match in the league. But a very important player, I feel, and one of the longest serving players we had of the Saving Swans series. Jamal Lascelles, I'm happy to see him in the team, Jamal Lascelles. Out of all the centre-backs we had, he's the man that makes it into the team. So Jamal Lascelles, thank you very much. You are a proud part of Swansea's history. Arthur, so another Brazilian we scouted from the Brazilian leagues, and he was a Swansea player up until very recently. We only sold him in the January window just gone, and we bought him in for £19 million. Again, I don't think I need to say it, but if you want to find really cheap players with really good potential and current abilities, Brazil and Argentina is where you want to scout. Got him in for £19 million, which, when you think about it, is absolute peanuts. Again, similar to the other two players, hasn't dropped below a 7.0 average rating. Best season he had was that 5 goals he scored in the 23-24 season. He was a key part of us getting those Premier League trophies. And we sold him on for 101 million to Monaco. So we bought him in for 19 mil. We sold him for, not quite 10 times, but, 5 times what we bought him in for, pretty much. A decent profit. And we look at his stats. An absolute beast of a player. Brilliant physicals, fantastic mentals, 17 tackling. He could separate the best strikers in the world from the ball. What a player he was. He had 131 appearances for us in the league. I could count up the Champions League and FA Cup and all that, but I'd be here for a while. But Arthur does partner Lascelles at the back, and Luke Nart is the left back we go for, so we will not be seeing Federico Rica at left back. 22 years old. A lot of these players are very young. We've got a very good scouting system. Have picked up these potential players. And Nart came in, he was very cheap as well, if I remember rightly. He came in for £15 million. A starter for Bruges. I think he even had Belgium caps when he was at Club Bruges. So we did bring him in, and at first I think him and Rico were about the same, if I remember rightly. But he quickly took over, and he's been a phenomenal force on that left-hand side. Often overlaps into that wing position because we don't play with wingers, and he'd always be there crossing it in for the strikers to grab the goals. Best season he's had was the latest one. He had 3 assists, 1 player of the match. A very good player, and what is he, 23? 22. I keep saying he could be there in 10 years' time, and there's going to be an announcement at the end of the episode. By all means, tune in for that. But 111 appearances, 3 goals for Swansea City. A fantastic left-back at the club. So it is a 4-3-1-2 that we are playing with. So we're going to start with De Luca. So De Luca, a man who is wanted. Who's he wanted by? Marseille, Bayern, Madrid. Yeah, he's going to be linked with them. But Fabio De Luca, the man with 19 or 20 long shots, depending on when you caught him in the month. I think he settled for 19. Didn't score many long shots. I think Zachary Paul got more long shots than he did. But a world-class midfielder nonetheless. 168 appearances for Swansea in the league. 15 goals he's got for us. £9 million from Argentina. There's a common theme here. There's a common theme. We just get them in on the cheap. develop them in the team, and they just turn into world-class players. I think the most goals he ever scored for us was 5 goals there, but that one season in 24-25, 13 assists he got from midfield. What a player. Look at his attributes: 19 long shots, 16 passing, amazing physicals, can't jump very high, but, we're not going to expect him to jump high in midfield, are we? But good composure, very good mentals, a very good player. 27 years old, so he's now in the prime of his career. Fabio De Luca, what a midfielder, what a player we've had for the club. Marco Rog makes the first 11, which is very surprising because Marco Rog, he was another one we brought in very early. He's 31 now, so he's approaching the tail end of his career. We got him in fairly early, 2018, 2019. So it was that's the second season we got him in? Yeah, it would have been the second season. 10 mil. I think it was the January transfer window we got him in on. And he's been with us for nearly 10 seasons. That's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is his 9th season. So he's been with us a long time. And I don't think he's ever been a starter. He's never been like the first name on the team sheet for when we've done these. But, he's always been in around the team. He's slotted in when we've needed players to cover positions. And how many appearances has he made for Swansea? 185. And surprisingly, no one's come in for him. No one's ever made a bid to bring Marco Rog away from Swansea. So is he favoured at Swansea now? Does he like Swansea? No, he's still not, a supporter or anything like that. But Marco Rog, you do make the team of the save, so well done to you. Zachary Paul, so the man who I think the biggest bargain we ever picked up in this save. I'm going to show you how much he cost us. £1.6 million. When we first bought him, we bought him for like 500k. My scouts, I got to praise my scouts, this is none because of me. My scouts said, you should look at this player. 5-star potential in the scout report. And I just looked at him and he already looked like a beast of a player. And he wasn't even getting into Melbourne City's team. I was like, well, why isn't he getting into the team? He wasn't being played. Nobody else was interested in him. So luckily I've got a work permit for him. And he's been a beast ever since. He started off as, I think it was Llorente's backup. Marcus Llorente's backup he was. But again, eventually overtook him and became a solid player in our quest to become Premier League champions. It was the best season he had. So he had a 7.27 there. 3 goals, 9 assists for Zachary Paul. As we know, he has a hell of a long shot on him, even though he has 11 long shots. Fabio De Luca had 19 long shots, and Zachary Paul is better than him at long shots. He could play defensive midfield where he played originally, but we converted him into a centre mid, and he really got into a natural sort of position in that midfield. 20 work rate. I mean, those attributes speak for themselves. A tenacious defensive midfielder. 138 appearances for Swansea, 14 goals. And he's only 26. He's getting into his prime at the club. So 10 years, I don't think he'll be there in 10 years. But Zachary Paul, probably the best bargain we had in this series. We salute you. Thank you very much, mate, for your contribution. The front three. So the front three are players that are all recent. Well, I won't say recent, but they are still part of the club. No Way Jose comes in, and I'm going to play his music just for this little speech that we do on him. So No Way Jose we brought in, again, scouting the Brazilian leagues. He came in for, I think it was, 10.75 mil? Scouted him from Brazil. We sent him out on loan the first season. We sent him to Brighton, where they played him up front for whatever reason, I'm not sure. But he did really well there, so and when he came back, I think the scout said, he's done well as loan in Brighton, you should give him a run in the first team. So that was, I think, when we were using attacking midfielders as well. So I thought, do you know what? He'd be a good backup for Angel Correa. And he stepped up. He stepped up to the plate and eventually became better than Angel Correa. And he became the man to fit into that attacking midfield position. Best season he ever had? Well, he's been very consistent. 7.38 over 3 seasons and 7.37 in the fourth. 9 assists, 4 assists, 6 assists, 8 assists. He's always had 10 goals and assists combined throughout the season, and he's always been a man highly thought of at the club. But we bought him in for 9 mil, or 10.75, sorry, and now he's worth £64 million, and he's only 25. Another player that is coming up to his prime. We've got players in this Swansea team that if they can keep the core of them together, could dominate English football, European football, for the next 10 years. But no way, Jose. Thank you for your service, my friend. The front two we've had over the last couple of seasons. We'll start with Aradori. Giacomo Aradori, the man we brought in to be Yomar's protege, to learn off Yomar, to eventually surpass him. I think he surpassed him pretty much in the first season. But looking at his stats, he's an immense striker. He's only got 13 finishing, but you'd never think he had 13 finishing. He was more of a target man than anything. He had 19 strength, 6'2", 17 jumping reach. He was the man you wanted. 16 headering. He was going to be the man who's going to header it on or to the next person to score the goals. But he scored a lot of goals. 82 appearances, 61 goals in the league for Aradori. So it's almost, shy of 20 appearances. He's shy of a goal a game in his Swansea career. Only 24 years old. He has a long way to go in his career. Who knows what he could do in a Swansea City shirt. Been with us for 4 seasons, brought him in for £30 million. 13 goals and 17 appearances in his first league campaign. Look at those stats. They speak for themselves. 15 goals, 12 goals, 21 goals in the league. And because we rotated the team, he'd never get a full season. So if we played him for 38 games in a season, he could smash them in for fun. I'm surprised Juventus even sold him to us, to be honest with you. He's an Italian international, 44 caps, 31 goals. He's almost, again, shy of about 10 games. It's a goal a game for his country. What a striker. If he was at any other club, he would be the main man. He would be the man on the front cover of all the club magazines. He'd be on the posters. He'd be the main man of the club. But sadly, he's had to be second fiddle to the next player in this team. The best striker I think we've had at this club, Orlando Girigori. You look at those stats, 17 dribbling, 15 finishing, 17 first touch, 17 heading, 20 composure. He is an elite striker, and ever since he came to the club, he has been banging in the goals for fun. He's wanted by Real Madrid and PSG. I'm just hoping my successor manages to hang on to Orlando Girigori. We got him in for £25.5 million. It's our 5th season with him. Now, I distinctly remember bringing him in because I thought to myself, right, he's going to be the 3rd choice, 4th choice striker to learn off. I think at the time it was like Mbolo, Yomar, I think it was Milik was there at the time, but he was there to absorb all the information. But when we did play him, he's just scored. He's always scored. Over the 5 seasons, so 29 appearances, 18 goals in his first season, 7 assists. 27 games, 20 goals, 9 assists. 17 goals, 10 assists. 21 goals, 10 assists. And the most latest year, 16 goals, 20 assists. What a player this guy is. He's probably the best striker I've had in Football Manager 2018 at least. 151 appearances, 92 goals. What a player. Marvel in the stats. That is Orlando Girigori. And he's only 24. He's only 24. He has another 10 years in him, at least, at the top. And that is, my friends, the starting lineup of the Save. I wouldn't say it's the best starting 11, but there's some names in there that are bringing back memories for us. We'll go through the subs as well. Timo Horn. I was very surprised we managed to get this guy in when we did. He came in, I think, in the 2nd year? Yeah, the second season, 2018-2019 season. 15.5 million because Cole got relegated, if I remember correctly. So he joined us and he was our first choice goalkeeper for, 4 seasons? 5 seasons? Until we got Milagres come in. But he was top draw when he turned up for us. Again, I can't remember any mistakes that Timo Horn has made. There probably have been a few. But I can't remember any mistakes. But 158 appearances for Swansea. He is a Swansea City legend. In my eyes, he is anyway. Whether the game thinks so, I'm not too sure. But Timo Horn, thank you for your service. Alexander Boning, I'm going to try and go through this quite quick now because we've been waffling on for a while. So, Boning, another man we got in on the cheap. He was, 15 mil from Austria, and he is he's pretty much the guy at the back now at the club. 182 appearances at the club, 26 years old in his prime. He still is a fantastic player. Roque Mesa, the man who's been with us since the very start. He was with us when we first took over Swansea City, and he stuck with us pretty much right the way through to the end of his career. It's a shame that he's not a very good coach, because I would have kept him on in the coaching staff. But Roque Mesa, what a legend. He talks about us in the press all the time. He always pops up with things saying, Swansea should watch out for this player, or watch out for that player. So he was a fantastic player. Breeden Bolo, a man who stepped up to fill Lucas Moura's shoes. I'm surprised Lucas Moura hasn't got into this team because he's a very important player. But Breeden Bolo, the man who always wanted to go to Barcelona, and in the end he did get his move. 88 appearances, 33 goals. We bought him as a Rom Deuter on the wing, but when we changed formation, we stuck him up front. He did get his move eventually, but he did bang in the goals for us when he was here. 14 goals in his first season, 15 in his second. Misfired in his last season, but I think he wanted to go to Barcelona, which is why he played so poorly. So Breeden Bolo, and then we got Yomar. Yomar, the man who didn't like big games. He just didn't like playing big games. Stick him in a Champions League final, he'll bomb. Stick him against, Charlton Athletic, or... I'm sorry, Charlton fans. But any small team, he'd bang the goals in for fun. So I didn't want to get rid of him, because over the course of the season, he's banging the goals for fun. But 178 games, 111 goals, 25 years old in his prime. Yomar, I hope you improve your big game consistency, I guess. Trent, the right back, again, 28 years old. As a Liverpool fan, it was good to get him in. We needed a quality right back. We did spend big money on him, £68 million, but I think it's been worth it to get that quality at right back. He could play anywhere on the pitch, to be honest with you. He could be right back, centre mid, but we utilised him as a right back. Shelby Johnson got in ahead of him, but Trent was a very important player at the time. And the last player was Arkadiusz Milik. I kept calling him Milic, but it is Milik, I think is how you perform. I think he was our first big name striker we got in the club. We were after a striker. We paid Liverpool 13.5 mil, and he scored 20 goals the first season, 25 goals the second season, dipped in the third, but then we sold him off to big money to AC Milan, and now he plays for Preston in the Championship. So, kudos to you, Milik, for dropping down a league. But he was, I think, a very important player at a time where we needed big players to come in, to change us from that Europa League kind of team to a Champions League team. And he was the man to do it. Thank you very much for your time, Milik. So the Swansea best 11, where are they now? And a lot of those players are still at the club. Although it talks about Rika as well, which I don't think made the team. But Mbolo's at Barca, Arthur plays for Monaco, Lascelles at Watford, Rika's at Bournemouth. I think I got relegated, so screw you, Rika, you're always a thorn on my side. Miguel Almiron. He was another player we got in fairly early. For 15 mil, we got him in from Atlanta. And he was a fantastic player for a long time. Sold him for 50 mil, so we had a hefty profit from him. But he was a fantastic player for us. He's at Guangzhou Hengda. And that's pretty much it. So Yomar won player of the season. Gomez got the best goals. We'll watch this goal together. See what sort of goal it was. Watch how it's like a really lame goal. Pineda. Is he going to find anybody? Finds Galvez. So there's Gomez. It's alright. A long distance goal. A low drive into the corner. But it's alright, I guess. Levo was the signing of the season. He was the Arthur replacement. And Aradori at 24 is the young player of the season. So that is our season review for our last season of Saving Swans. Arsenal with a thorn of our side that cost us. We don't need to see the 2020 side. Pause it if you want to see it though, because there's a fair few players there that helped us get to where we are. So by all means pause it and look at those players just to see where they are now, if you want to know. And there it is. Adam John has resigned from his position as a manager after many years in the job. Jose Mourinho is the favourite to take over. Don't put Mourinho in charge. Just do not put Mourinho in charge. Anybody but Mourinho, and I'll be happy. So we've got a lot of departures since then. So I think the only thing we need to look at is the club statuses. So if we have a look at the records and sort of what the club looks like as far as the overview. So look at these trophies. I mean, it's in the opening title screen anyway, but those are a summary of the trophies that we've won whilst we're at the club. We'll go for records. We'll have a look at the records. So if we look at the modern day, so 100 points in the season is the record. Fewest points, 29. Highest attendance, that's cool. In fact, if I do it by maybe sort of individually. So league positions, attendances, results. I want players. So most goals in a season. Jordan Ayew got 7. Yoma on his first season got 40 goals. Giragori got 41 though in the 25-26 season. There's a lot to go through. I'm not really unsure what to kind of show you, really. Is there a way I can see like club legends and stuff? Oh, there we go. So legends. Giragori is a legend. I'm a legend, even though I've retired from the game now. Well, I think I'm going to retire, but I've resigned. But Giragori, myself, and Alan Curtis are the legends. Leon Britton, still under 18 system manager. Get in there, Leon. You do you. Lucas Moura is an icon at the club. What a player he was to help us in our development. We sold him to Man City and then he did nothing with him. Yoma, he's an icon at the club. Favourite personnel, Aradori, No Way Jose, De Luca, Roque Mesa, Boning, Arthur Nart, Zachary Paul, Altabama makes it. And Jason Levine, the chief executive of Swansea. That won't go down very well in real life. He's hated in Swansea at the moment because of the way they're running the club. But yeah, that's kind of it, my friends. That is Saving Swans. Done. No more. No more games. We've achieved so much at the club. And all I want to say is thank you very much for watching the series. We've got 124 episodes. And Swansea City have been saved. We're going to have one more episode though. One more episode of Saving Swans. We're going to go 10 years in the future. We're going to have a look and see how Swansea do 10 years in the future. Can they hang on to Giragori, Aradori and the rest of the star players? Will they be sold to different clubs? Will they become managers? Anything can happen. So tune in next time for a Swansea City or Saving Swans 125 episode special, 10 years in the future. Leave a like if you enjoyed the series, guys. Subscribe to the channel, I would say, for more Football Manager 2018 content, but we will be flowing with the FM19 content after this. And subscribe to the channel as always. And hopefully I will see you next time for Saving Swans 10 years in the future. Thank you very much for watching.